What's up? It's Danny Suede. We're going for it on the podcast today. Today, I'm going to talk about how to not kill yourself. I want to say a few disclaimers first, and then we'll get into it. So, I have wanted to kill myself before a few times in my life. I want to talk about these experiences and how I got out of them and how I continue to keep them away from me because it was ass. I want to say these are just my experiences and my thoughts. And I realize that everyone has a different experience. And when we're talking about mental health, there's a ton of different situations people are in. So this is my advice and what I've learned from my experience and the problems that I've faced. I also want to say that I can seem insensitive and numb to the topic sometimes because when I'm talking about things, I tend to shut off emotions so that I'm able to just talk about it. It maybe seems like I don't care, don't give a fuck, but I do. My second podcast ever was a podcast on mental health. And I never really followed up about it. I said I would, so this is that. If you want to go back and watch that, you can. One of the times that I don't know if I would say I was suicidal. I was considering it or thinking about it. And that was one of the times. And I said I was fine in that podcast because obviously I can't be like, I want to kill myself. But looking back, I was thinking about that. And you can see it in the video. It's fucking crazy. But this is my second run at this. The first one didn't record. So here we go again. Let's say I don't want to come across like I'm having a pity party here because I've had literally a fucking amazing life. My setup when I came into the world was one of the best that you could fucking have. And I haven't had trauma. I haven't been abused. I haven't been neglected. I just was raised by two loving parents. Like shit was fucking good. And so, but for whatever reason, I still ended up wanting to fucking end it. And I'm just going to talk about that and how I got out of there. And I think that I consider myself lucky to have found the solutions that I did, and that's why I want to share them. And I also think that this, for me, is really like embarrassing and personal because I've had a good life. So it's like, why did you want to kill yourself or had a problem if you have this perfect fucking life? And I honestly don't have an answer for you. I think suffering is relative, so it is what it is, and that this is just my experience. So fucking, I don't know. But I think that sharing these things is a big part of prevention and being able to relate to people. And, I just want to help if I can or share what I can about it. So I'm going to start by reading some journal entries that I wrote during those hard times. They're pretty fucking crazy, at least to me. And yeah, it's embarrassing and whatever, but I just got to fucking can't let y'all go through shit alone. So here we go. This is the first one. It's from 2017. Okay. It says, feeling hella depressed. I hate that I'm so bad at spelling and I hate so many things lately. I was talking about spelling because I am bad at spelling and it throws it in my face when I write in my journal. So I was thinking about that at the time, but that wasn't why I was upset. It says, I just want to be alone so bad. I feel like I'm running and hiding. I wonder what I'm running from. It's probably a combination of expectation and rejection, and I don't know what else. Just leave me alone. I just wish to die in my sleep. Get me out of here. Everything is way too heavy. I'm sure if I die, it will all go away. I'm not scared now, but I know I will be. I don't think I'll make it through the snow. Cut me loose, please. I probably deep down know that I'm the only one that can fix this, but that seems like too much responsibility and I want to escape. Sorry. That is crazy to read that. Fuck. But then the next entry is like a little less than a year later and I'm doing great. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I wrote that. I figured my shit out. I'm chilling. Hell yeah. But sure enough, later, I shit my bed again. Okay. This is right around the time I made that second podcast. So if you go back and look at my podcast number 2, this is right around that time for reference. It says, I'm going to get a few tests by a psychologist. I half hope I get some sweet drugs. In the back of my head, I think that it won't be good for me to get drugs because that's an easy way to OD, but maybe that's what I need. Most of the time, I'm not afraid of what's beyond this, even if it's nothing. There's more, but I'm not going to read all of it. Okay, and then this is a little later than that. I say, killing myself feels more and more enticing every day. Maybe I'll lie to the doc and get meds I can OD on. Xanax would be perfect. I would also make it seem like an accident. That way people might not feel so bad. But I also think that if I'm going to kill myself, I might as well be honest about it. I'm wondering if this is natural. I need answers. I need help. I hate being confused and I hate being this way. Damn. That is fucking crazy. But that's what I was feeling at the time. And in retrospect, when I look back, I think that those negative times in my life were just like really compounded by ignorance and lack of perspective on just my biology, my life, and my situation in general. I think that there are so many contributing factors to mental health. That's mainly what I'm going to talk about. But damn, that's just crazy. Fuck. Okay. I have notes. So let me say now I'm chilling. I'm good. I haven't been in that place since then. And I'm proud of myself for that. And I think that I want to share all the ways that I got out of there and the ways that I continue to stay out of there. I think maybe it's important to say that at that time I was writing that, I didn't know this, but I was in a kind of relationship situation that I think was causing a lot of the confusion and me being upset. I didn't realize how much. And once I kind of worked through that, a lot of these things kind of went away. But I'm not sure how much that was a part of it, but I think that just goes to say it's not an easy project figuring out your mental health. But I just want to jump into some of the solutions and the ways that I've dealt with that. So, fuck. Here we go. I think that your mental health and your experience is basically just a matter of brain chemistry. So whatever neurotransmitters and chemicals and shit you got going on creates your mental state, whether that's happy, sad, scared, whatever. And I think that when you look at how those things are influenced, there's some things that are the main contributing factors. So when you look at, there's this thing, it's like the hierarchy of needs. I forget who made it, but I don't know how accurate it is, but it makes sense that basically every human has physical needs like food, water, sleep, your physical needs to survive, being safe, love and belonging, self-esteem and esteem from others, and then self-actualization. So those are things you need in some form of another to be happy and healthy, largely, loosely. And I think that I'll probably go into those a little more later, but let's see here. Okay. So if you're lacking those things and they're causing you to be unhappy and turmoil, when you, at least for me, when I have poor mental health, it compounds by making me make bad decisions and do destructive behaviors and destructive coping mechanisms that just make shit fucking worse. And so getting out of that cycle is difficult. And you gotta know what the fuck's going on to, take control of that. So my main shit that I focus on to fucking not want to kill myself is my diet, exercise, sleep, and mindfulness. So I'll break those down. So it makes perfect sense that what you are, what you eat. So if you're eating shit, you're going to feel like shit. Your diet affects your mental state in a million ways. Like just think of when you eat sugar, you get hyper. When you eat a bunch of carbs, you're going to have a crash. You're going to feel like shit. And, when you're hungry and you need food, you get angry and upset. Your stomach and your gut biome and your diet really affects your mental states. So, if you look at Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, a lot of their issues and problems with mental health were just caused by their diet, and they do the carnivore diet to avoid that, and they do great. So I think that's one thing to really look at, what you're eating and how your diet is if you're fucking want to kill yourself or you're depressed or sad. The next thing is exercise. A lot of the same concept, it's your body. You want your body to work well, to function well, and then on top of that, you get drugs when you work out. You get tons of endorphins. It feels fucking amazing usually after. But this is for me, I exercise mainly for my mental health. Like looking better and feeling better is a side product, but I mainly do it because I feel like when you exert yourself, especially early in your day, and it's really hard, you it kind of lowers your threshold for things to upset you when you already have been in this like really extreme, strained state. I find that I just coast the rest of the day way easier, and I'm just way more clear and able to field problems that come my way. And it's for me crucial. Like I genuinely feel like if you are depressed, or depending on the reasons, but if you have problems with this and you don't have a good diet and exercise, fix that shit, because that it literally makes the main difference. And then also sleep. There's a podcast, a JRE podcast. It's Matthew Walker, number 1109, if you want to watch it. It's all about sleep. It's amazing. Highly recommend it if you have shitty sleep. And he just talks about how important sleep is for your brain, your mental health. And it's like being awake is like an acute form of brain damage, and sleeping allows yourself to, just what do you say? Just kind of re-up your whole thing and let yourself rest. And it's super important to get a right amount of sleep. And if you don't, you're going to be at a deficit. And that's just biology. So it's just important to really monitor those things. Last, I have mindfulness. I think that this is important because mindfulness is basically your ability to be monitoring your internal state. And so if your internal state mentally is really negative, and negative patterns of thought and negative behavior, it's hard to really know yourself and really monitor how these thoughts come and go and what your responses are to them and all these things. If you practice mindfulness daily, just breathing exercises, I would recommend the Waking Up app, the Waking Up course by Sam Harris. Did wonders for me and still does. I do it every day. And it really helps you train yourself to be aware of your mental state and what's going on. And if you want to fix that, the first step is to be aware of what's going on and really be able to notice what's going on and change what you're doing if you need. And a lot of times for me, just noticing mental thoughts or a mental spiral, I notice it and then I can pull out real quick. And usually, like in the past, in my journal entries, like I never even realized what my mind was doing when I was going down these negative spirals, let alone could I, just pull up and get out of there. So to me, that is crucial. And I think that the little things really matter. And it's hard to care about the little things. It's hard to care about going to bed on time and not eating shitty food and just going for a 1.5 mile run in the morning. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but if you practice it over time and make it a part of your lifestyle, you will be healthier and happier, almost guaranteed. And I personally treat it like my life depends on it, because judging from my past, it just kind of does, and this is how I stay healthy mentally and physically. And I think that those things are super important when dealing with these things, and for me have been key. So I think, if you struggle with similar things, that is, going to help you. And I think that what I was talking about before with the physical needs, safety needs, that hierarchy of human needs, love and belonging, self-esteem, self-actualization, these things come to you when you have your shit together, when you are healthy and you exercise and you look good and you feel good and you have good sleep and you're really self-aware and you're working on yourself. That helps with your physical needs. And and love and belonging, like your relationships, if you're mentally healthy and you are in a good state and you're self-aware, your relationships will be better. Your people will like you more. You'll like yourself more. Having a good diet and exercising every day makes me feel so good about myself. And I struggle with fucking hating myself. And a lot of times I do fucking hate myself. And I'll feel like shit and I'll just go freaking pump some iron and rip it so I can be like, yes, bitch, you fucking worked out today. You said you were gonna and you fucking did. Or you didn't eat that shitty food and you fucking, just went shopping and got healthier food, and good for you. And that shit makes me feel better. And then it's like a cycle that positively reinforces itself. And the same thing with self-actualization. If you have goals and if you don't like yourself and you think you're a piece of shit, that's gonna contribute to bad mental health and being depressed. But if you're healthy and you can continually make progress towards your goals and your dreams, that is super good for your mental health and makes you feel good about yourself. And that strengthens your relationships and just makes your life better all around. And I think that the devil is in the details with those things and the small things. Um, okay. Another concept about this. Excuse me. This is so important. Educate yourself on what you are and how your body works. To me, it's insane that most people don't understand how their brain works. They don't understand what controls their emotions, and they don't understand how their body works. They don't even know themselves or understand how they work. It's so complicated to learn these things, but it's like trying to fix a car and not understanding how a car works. You have to learn the parts of the car, how they work. If you have this problem, it's probably this. If you have this problem, it's probably this. And you got to get to know yourself, and that's where you bring mindfulness in. And our bodies are complex, but the amount of people that have no fucking clue how their brain works or the different parts of their brain or how they interact or how that influences their emotions and their decision making and all these things, like it just seems like no one knows this shit and they don't teach you this, at least in basic school, which I think this should be the first shit you learn. Once you can read, bro, teach kids how their brain works, teach them how their body works. How can you modify yourself and fix yourself and take yourself from a negative, shitty, depressed, unhealthy state to a good one if you don't understand what you're even working with? I've been reading this book, Behave by Robert Sapolsky, for a minute because it's a fucking science book and it's fat. But it is one of the best books I've ever read, and it has increased my knowledge of myself. It's why humans do what they do. It's why we behave how we behave. And it's from a lot of different perspectives and, all the way from brain chemistry to evolution to culture and society. And it is a guide on how your body works and why you do what you do. And I would recommend it. If it takes you a year to read, it's worth it. It's like an instruction manual on how humans work. And I think if you struggle with getting desired outcomes in your life and, having a shitty time, this will really fucking help you. And I think that and you educate yourself however you can or you want. But I think that it's so important. Like it's crazy. For me, it's been one of the main things that's helped me be chilling. And it's the same thing with mindfulness. Once you know these things, I go, oh, I'm feeling this way. Did I eat? Did I sleep? What's going on with this? What are these thoughts? Oh, I'm having these reoccurring thoughts. How do I change my perspective so I don't have these thoughts, so I don't go down this spiral of bad decisions or bad patterns of thinking? So yeah, that's just, super important. The last thing that I want to touch on is perspective, how you look at the world, how you look at yourself. This also is just a main factor of the experience you have. Like if you look at the world a shitty way, you're going to have a shitty experience. If you look at it a positive way, you're going to have a more positive experience. And your perspective and paradigm really just affects your trajectory. And I found this in my life. All the things that I value and that I enjoy have come from me being very self-aware, very trying to have a positive mindset and picking the perspective I'm going to use when looking at something. Because it's the age-old thing about glass half full or glass half empty. Both statements are true, but which way you look at it will determine your behavior and your emotions. And that is so important when getting desired outcomes. And most things in life are this way. So, first thing, you have to understand that your feelings don't accurately describe reality. Just because you have a feeling or you feel a way or having an experience, that doesn't mean that that's the way the world is. And I think I personally have had problems with this, and I've seen a lot of people have problems with this where their map of reality is off because their emotions are flared up and they're irrational and they're having a hard time and they can't view the world correctly. And when you know this, it's like wanting to text your ex and being drunk and being like, oh, I'm drunk, I'm not going to do that. It's a similar thing where your perception is skewed because of your situation. And you have to realize that and make your decisions accordingly. This is a huge tool to use to not make bad decisions and get out of that negative cycle that you can get caught in. Emotions are basically just like crude signals that help you act and interpret things, and they can just be wildly inaccurate. So making sure, like when I look at these journal entries, I'm like, I was acting that way and thinking those thoughts because I just had a bad view of my situation that wasn't accurate. I was upset and I was feeling ways and I was just unhealthy and had negative patterns of thought and negative perspective on life. And it caused this fucking shitty time in my life where I just wanted to die and kill myself. And I think that when I start to feel myself inch towards that mindset or that kind of state, I realize, oh shit, look at this a different way. And it helps me just steer clear of that shit. I think that mental health is also like, if you think about standing up or balancing, when you start to tip over, the sooner you start to correct yourself, the easier it is. Once you start tipping over a lot, gravity pulls you more and you're gonna fall faster and quicker. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you have a pole standing straight up and it starts to tip over, you can grab it and stop it from tipping over easily. But once that shit gets like, past 90 degrees falling over, it's going faster and faster. And that's how mental health is, at least for me. So it's learning the initial signs that you're going down a spiral or you're getting unhealthy or you need to change something in your lifestyle or your mindset, and nipping that shit in the bud right fucking away, because it runs like crazy quick. And at least for me. And that's why I am monitoring that shit like so carefully, and again, mindfulness is how that is monitored for me. And I think again, realizing that the battle is fought in little mindset changes and little habit changes and behavioral changes and lifestyle changes, slowly helping yourself improve and getting to a safer mental place. So that's mainly all my experience and my advice with this. Lastly, I want to just address people that maybe are thinking about killing themselves or have had those thoughts in the past, or are prone to having those thoughts. One thing when I wanted to kill myself, I told myself was that I can always kill myself, but I can't always live. So like, it's this thing like, it's such a crazy measure to kill yourself if you're having a bad time, where there's other crazy shit you could do that would probably fix your issue, and you don't have to kill yourself. Like, for example, I thought about just grabbing a backpack and fucking off to Nepal and going and going to monasteries or just backpacking around and just trying to find some answers or find a new way to think about shit or a new way to live. And if that fails and I go for a year or some shit and I still want to fucking kill myself, then I could kill myself. But if I can't, after I kill myself, I can't go back and do that and fix my shit and have a fulfilling, amazing life. And I think that that's important to remember when you want to die. It's like, yo, fucking ending your life is like the craziest thing ever. Just do something a little less crazy. And if you can always fucking kill yourself later, which is fucked up to say, but that helped me not kill myself. And so, that's what it is. Oh yeah, also feel free to reach out and just know that, like I said, your mental state, I think that one of the main things that led to the suicidal thoughts was this feeling like the bad shit will not end. The negative experience that I was having seemed like there would be no end to it, and I just wanted it to fucking stop. I'm just like, anything but this. I feel so terrible and horrible. Just fucking get me out of here. And I don't know why, but those mental states have a way of just feeling like they'll never end, but they fucking do end. And they can end. You're not going to be stuck in a certain mental state forever, but you can be stuck in a cycle if you don't learn what's causing that cycle and get that out of your life. And like I said, everyone's experience is different. Some people just genuinely have fucked up, their brain just didn't develop right, or they have deficiencies in certain things that they need to function correctly, and it causes serious mental illness and problems for them. And I think that a lot of what I'm talking about here won't fix that for them. They need medication, therapy, and other things. So it's not a cure-all. It's just my guide to my specific problems that if they could help anyone, I want them to. And that's another thing. Go to freaking counseling or therapy, even if you're mentally healthy. It's so good for you to talk to someone and work shit out in your life and just have someone to vent to. I can't recommend it enough. It's also part of the reason that why I got out of the shit that I was in. So that's most of it. Like I said, thanks for listening. Feel free to reach out. I don't know how much advice I have to give, but I definitely would. If someone's struggling, I want them to feel free to reach out to me or anyone else. You could feel alone, but I guarantee you're not alone. I think a lot more people deal with this shit than it seems. And it's fucking so scary and embarrassing to talk about. At least for me, I feel embarrassed of what I went through and what I thought and all that. And I just feel the need to share it regardless. And so that's what I'm doing. And I think that if you feel like you're alone or like no one else feels like that, or you're crazy, you have a perfect life, why would you feel like this? Fuck that. Talk to someone that cares about you. Look for counseling. Hit me in the DM or whatever. Because you can figure shit out. And so that's what it is. I think that's everything. Good luck, everyone. Life is really hard. And I'm thankful that my life is going well so far. And I'm thankful for everyone that listens to this. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.